And just like that, they buy it. They eat it up. You pander to them. You thank them. I mean, really, people, I thought you were a little bit smarter than that. I mean, it's just so easy to say the name of the city. You cheer.
Hey, Stephanie,
you cheer. I mean, just come on.
Welcome to the A Show.
Hello, and welcome back to the A Show with the Kings of Pro Wrestling Podcasts. I'm Justin, sitting here with Meelz. Meelz, it's an important weekend and just entertainment and pop culture this weekend.
Is it? Please do. Tell me. For me.
You've got Endgame dropping on Friday. That's Friday. You got the playoffs,
which are happening currently as we're speaking.
You know, they got that going. Then you got Game of Thrones episode 3, the biggest Game of Thrones episode ever on Sunday. Lots of things going on this weekend with pop culture.
Except for not in the professional wrestling world. Nothing's really popping off. Maybe WrestleMania is,
It's because, like we're officially in the hangover stage of the pro wrestling kind of fandom. Like it's the off season, essentially.
I wish it was an actual off season. Just to be completely 100 with you, I wish it was an actual off season. I would appreciate probably everyone that we talk about on this podcast a lot more if I didn't have to see them for like 3 months. Like I would appreciate. I would be like, oh my god, Finn looks great. Like where's Finn been? Like
he got a glow. He got a new glow to him.
It would have been. We would be appreciating Charlotte and Andrade's relationship way more. I mean, I appreciate it now, but who knows what happened in like 2 months? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we would appreciate the small little things if there was an actual off season in professional wrestling, or at least in the WWE. Maybe I would be open to New Japan or all the indie stuff that I don't watch.
A cap just flew through your window.
Okay,
it's a New York Knicks cap.
Well,
and it just hit it's on your head now. Take it off.
Oh my god. Okay.
Take the cap off. That's cap. You're not watching on New Japan, bro.
I mean, if I didn't have anything else to watch, maybe I would. I probably wouldn't, but maybe I would.
People that work in New Japan aren't watching New Japan.
Ooh, spicy. Yes.
Let's get into this. Since we're in the hangover period, let's get into this.
Wait. First of all, before we get into all the things, I low key I want to promote all the shows before the end because
we had a lot of in the next couple of days and weeks. But more importantly, we have a new show on the A Show RNC channel.
Shout out to my man Kahlo.
Yeah.
Kahlo. My pronunciations as well, but Kahlo, man. Can I just a major appreciation for that show? It's called The Call Up.
Yes.
It is specifically oriented towards NXT and NXT UK. So for those folks who miss it during the week, or those folks who aren't able to catch up, or those folks who just want to listen to someone's perspective on it, because we will maybe give it like 10 minutes every 3 weeks or something.
Yeah.
Now you have an actually dedicated show that'll cover all these stuff, and you kind of get to listen to all the new talent. You get to listen to what we can expect from people who are going to come up to the main roster eventually. You got to expect what's going on really the third brand now. It's just, It really is. Like, I mean, tonight's NXT was spectacular once more. And I'm sure that when Kahlo talks about it, I'll enjoy it a lot more. So want to give a shout out to him. Make sure everyone stay tuned. Stay as always. I guess there'll be more details on when you can expect the show, but make sure to just follow RNC Radio Live.
It's gonna air every Friday on this channel. So
okay. All right.
It's gonna let you go into the weekend with NXT, NXT UK, all of this stuff, since they all air on Wednesday anyway. Give you the A Show on Thursdays, the Call Up on Friday. Go into your weekend with a lot more wrestling content. Hey, I mean, the show came together just, from him just, reaching out and saying he wanted to do it. And we're completely open to that, So if you guys want to have a show on the A Show RNC network, just let us freaking know. Like, I think that,
and if you have a good idea for a show, don't just be, saying like, listen, it's 32 episodes on Doink the Clown, or some very niche sort of thing, NWO, the Monday Night Wars thing. I mean, we'll clear all the shows, but yes, if you're interested in the show and if you're interested in bringing content and if you love that sort of thing, feel free. Listen, we don't dance in all the videos. We don't do all the other extra stuff that all the other, wrestling podcasters may do.
Yeah, we don't do all that. Come to RNC, baby.
Come to RNC. We give people the opportunity to shine, and that's real right there.
For real. And we also have another show that it's yet to be recorded yet. Well, I'm pretty sure we're gonna do it in the next couple of days. Yeah.
I've been ready. So
I just listen. I'm like Becky too.
No. You don't have to. You don't have to explain it. You don't have to explain it. I'm just saying. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm willing. I'm able, and I will be on the next episode of Spot Callers. This will be about Joey Janela's Spring Break 2. You can expect that coming up within the next week or so. So make sure you stay tuned to that on the A Show RNC channel.
Before May. It will be out before May.
It'll be out before May. So that's at least it's legitimately 1 week from now. So it'll be out within the next week. So make sure you stay tuned to that. I also want to give a shout out to all the other shows on the RNC network. RSPN, which is doing its playoff edition shows right now. The playoffs are heating up. It's been Dame time, and now it looks like to be Rockets time. So it's going to be a very interesting show on Friday. That's hosted by Mark and Jeff. So make sure you listen to that. And we also have The Perfect Play is going to be taking a break this week, but we will have a playlist. They're taking a break because I guess the entire state of Virginia is shutting down for something in the water.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, that's the truth. It's literally the truth. It's a holiday.
So it's legitimately a holiday. Shout out to Pharrell. We will have a playlist coming. So for those of you who are going to something in the water, or at least want to feel the vibes of what something in the water may be like, we will have a playlist coming of everyone who's featured on the set list. That will be coming out literally right after this podcast. So make sure you stay tuned to that on the RNC Radio Live network.
And we also have Late Fees, which aired or came out last Friday, all about the MCU. And, just in case you need a prep for Endgame, which I did see last night. That's
big
your
flex.
That's your perfect. Yeah, I can't. I had to see it. Like,
how did the 3 hours sit to you? How did the 3 hours fly by? Was it a rough 3 hours?
I think it's too long. I'll talk. We will have a special Late Fees episode of Endgame. So stay tuned for that.
There you go.
That will be on Monday of next week. So all spoilers will be talked about on that episode.
Listen, there you go. That's content that's well worth having. And, shout out to you guys for going through all the MCU universe. I listened to that podcast. It was fantastic. So I want to give a shout out to you guys. I also want to give a shout out to my co-host, Jeff, on the lookout. We dropped a new episode, just a bonus episode today, talking about, the manga and what you can expect from the new anime coming up this summer. So make sure you check that out. And RNC doing big things. Well, we have the cable box as well with Pat.
That came out. We have too many damn.
I mean, we doing the damn thing right now. Once again, if you have any ideas, if you have any concepts, if you have any things that you just want to do, and you have, you're willing to, purchase your own material,
about it, yeah.
Then feel free to just pitch it to us, and we may hear it. You may get a show either on the A Show, RNC network, or anywhere else. We're open to talk about it, but I think we should be open to talk about what's going on this week in the world of professional wrestling as well, because that's what you guys came here to listen to be honest with you, not us rambling.
Absolutely. Let's get into No Holds Barred with a Sasha Banks watch. It was announced earlier this week that they're currently at a stalemate, and that is Sasha Banks and the WWE are currently at a stalemate as to where she will be going next and if she will be coming back to the show. It's been week 3. No Sasha Banks, not even any vacation shots. It seems as though she's pretty much. This is playing out to me, honestly.
Does she have an agent yet? I mean, that's kind of the big. That's the big. That's the big step when I see the people, when you start getting an agent and you start, at least negotiating on behalf of that, I know that's when that's when things are looking dire. If she don't have an agent yet, I don't believe her. She'll be back. I don't know.
I mean, the 30 days isn't up. I will say that much. I mean, we all heard that Vince was going to give her, a certain amount of days to figure it out.
What a great reprieve.
Yeah, just imagine saying, I want to quit, and your boss saying, no, think about it.
No, just take 30 days. Paid 30 days, by the way. Just right on your brain. Just think about it. I mean, you're not getting paid from events, but you're getting paid handsomely anyway. I mean, it's not your banks.
So this is playing out to me like the Punk thing, and I think that it's...
I wouldn't call it so. Well, maybe in a sense, yes, but I wouldn't say so. You know what?
Even the tweets that she put out, she's been radio silent.
Well, her husband's been defending her on the tweets. I'd be shout to him. If people come after your wife, why not defend them? Defend your wife, defend your honor, defend what you married. You know what I'm saying? But yes, Sasha Banks watch. We'll be back next week, probably.
Yeah.
I mean,
we'll see what happens next week. We'll literally see what happens next week. There's not much on that front, but we know who is not married this week. And Andrade are not married. That's news, I guess, for a lot of
Charlotte
people.
and Andrade. I mean, hashtag Messy Meelz section right here. No, they're not married. I just think Charlotte's very sprung. I think Andrade is very sprung. I think they're very much deep in love with one another, and you can clearly see it from the Instagram feed, which looks ridiculous. But yes, I mean, Andrade
is getting in. Let me just tell you that. That's why she looked like that right now.
Well, hey,
I know that look.
You know the look? Okay,
yeah, I know the look. When she glowing a little different. The swag's a little different. The swag's a little. Hey, you better back up.
I mean, she looking at everybody else. I mean, they're the power couple. They're the number one in the power rankings, baby.
You feel me?
It's different.
Seth and Becky, I don't know.
All right. So that's a real power couple, but they like to keep it low and prosper. Keep it low and build. That's what they did, and look where they are now. Whereas Charlotte and Andrade are just like, yo, we are here. We're alive.
Hey man, if I get to get it bracking with Ric Flair's daughter, bruh. I don't care about where I'm at on the card.
Oh, he's in the family now. He's in the family. He part of the family.
He got the Rolly gang on. All that shit. He get to wear the Hall of Fame rings. Come on,
Flair
baby.
had to check him. Flair checked him with his Rolly. He's like, yo, let me see how your piece looking compared to mine. All right, well, just don't get caught slipping. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure that's what he told him. I'm sure. I'm 100% sure. But Flair had to check him real quick. But it is what it is.
So essentially, this whole news is that Charlotte and Andrade. There was a rumor that they were possibly engaged because of a ring she wore in a picture from their trip to, I believe it was Puerto Rico, and then TMZ debunked it. Charlotte went on Twitter and debunked it herself. It's
as someone who was already, I think, engaged and or married. I forget. She was definitely married to what's his face from TNA, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure she's just trying to have fun out here. She's not really trying to,
Also, she's the cougar in this situation. Like she's the older one in this situation. Like she know what to do. She know the game.
She's 33, man.
Yeah, she know the game. Andrade like 22 or some shit. I don't know.
Think so? Oh my god, let's take a look. He's 29. Oh wow,
okay, yeah. Hey, he really out here.
Turn up.
He out here. All right. Enough about that. Next up on No Holds Barred, Tama Tonga and Enzo Amore, aka Real One, are beefing for real on the internet.
Yeah, they're wrestling, beefing.
Is this a work to you or a shoot? This is a work or a shoot to you?
No, I think this is a shoot. I think legitimate. Well, all right. So I just heard of this a couple hours ago. So let me not actually say whether I think it's a work or a shoot. Actually, might be a shoot. I mean, yeah, it might be a shoot. I feel like they generally don't mess with each. Like if I were Tama Tonga, I would not mess with Enzo, but I just don't mess with Enzo normally, just actually in real life.
Yeah.
He is kind of annoying. I see Tama Tonga called him a cancer. Do not want him in the locker room. As we see, Enzo and Kaz XL is what he's being referred to as.
what a Pizza Hut Pizzone ass name.
Yo, what a man came out DiGiorno. Oh my God, what a name.
Oh my my god, what a Pizza Hut Pizzone ass name, bro. Like, get out of here with that fucking name,
Kaz XL. Well, listen, they haven't been booked on ROH since their little, their little work shoot altercation.
Since they were paid to do it.
Let's talk about it. Yes, they were. But they haven't been booked since. They're not on the shows. They're not in any storylines. They're not really doing anything. So it's kind of like, and then Enzo's like, yo, bro, I don't even need the money, bro. Like, nah. And Tama Tonga's, he's wilding.
It's literally the two most annoying and ignorant people in the game going against each other. So it's like they cancel each other out. They've literally like become one. They're Tamzo.
Would you like to see them shoot the fair one?
I shoot the fair one for sure. Not in a ring, like in a fight, like a fight.
No, not in a ring at all. But yeah, definitely shoot the fair one. Yeah. I mean, Tama Tonga is Samoan. I don't even see why Enzo is entertaining this. The Samoans run deep.
Cocaine. That's why he's.
Oh well.
Cocaine.
Whew, okay.
That's happening. Also, and more is actually this is more messy Meelz, messy Punk, messy Brooks news. CM Punk showed up at an indie show last weekend, so he seems to be still having a little bit of fun with it. He showed up to help out his homeboy Ace Steel, who's still in the game. That was like a huge thing over the last weekend, and then a lot of people found out or were pulling out pictures saying that Punk's done this before, which is I thought
he has done this before. Yeah, he has definitely done this before. I remember that specifically. I was like, this isn't the first time he's done this. Showed up as a masked wrestler and interfered in a match and just kind of left without being known. But yes, I mean, something he's done before. Yeah,
but deeper than that, later on. Last weekend, just maybe like 2 days later, Ron Funches, who me and Meelz are pretty much familiar with from Joey Janela's Spring Break too.
Yes, we're fully familiar with him.
I have bars for that in the next couple of days, but he was basically saying, I would love to do a podcast. I'd love to have CM Punk on it. CM Punk responded, promise not to sue me for being a good friend, in parentheses, then sign a legally binding agreement that you're not a greedy, steaming pile of ungrateful snake shit and now consider it.
I mean, they're not friends anymore. What can I say? They're not friends anymore. Business got in the way of their friendship. How strong was their friendship? Not enough in the legal, courts to sort of sustain that. Cole Cabana still thinks that CM Punk probably owes him money because he said he was going to pay some of his court case, and then CM Punk said, nah, I'm actually not paying it. I don't know where you got that from. And now they're no longer friends anymore because they kind of screwed up on a podcast. But would I be down to listen to CM Punk on a podcast in 2019? I wouldn't know what he would have to say post the WWE.
I don't want to hear it. Yeah,
it would be interesting to hear his perspective on things that have happened in the WWE. But as far as things that have happened in his life, it's very few and far between. It's really a lot of him probably just eating crow about the two embarrassing UFC losses.
Can we talk about we had an episode about him in January?
Yes, a full episode. Shout out to that guy Greg and Ernest Wilkins.
And I know that we said, this is it. This is the last thing we're going to talk about. But I'm like, has there ever been a fall? I think it's solidified now. Has there ever been a fall off this massive? People talked about Punk like he was about to be legit top 5.
So
he's not mentioned at all in that anymore.
Oh, I see what you did there. But do I think his fall off was pretty incredible in terms of just not being able to cross over like most other WWE stars either do. Yeah, he's probably the biggest one to not cross over successfully in terms of what he's done. I mean, we've seen it in the past with Brock Lesnar trying football and then kind of failing, but then he got back to UFC and then became who he is now. CM Punk, I feel like has realized now he may not be good at anything but professional wrestling.
This motherfucker is doing. Can you uppercut people from the ground?
Yeah. So he may not be good at anything else but wrestling. I'm just saying.
He is a step away from Mario Lopez.
He should He should have entered the podcast game. I mean, I'm not saying we want competition, but I mean, if the Bellas are doing it, and I haven't heard a single episode of the Bellas since we talked about that last Bellas thing. I haven't heard it on the news cycle, anything, like no Bellas. But if the Bellas can do it, CM Punk could, I mean, he'd become a podcaster. I mean, he might be a little like 5 years too late on the wrestler podcast game, but I think people would listen, right?
I'm sure that, of course, he'd get listeners because he does have rabid fans, but I don't think he has rabid fans to the point where like there are people who are like kicking down the door who want to hear anything more about this. Like I feel like
he wouldn't want to talk about wrestling, which is what would screw up most of his wrestling fans.
Yeah,
I mean, like indie rock bands and like cartoon artists and like
even his last like comment about like Kofi Kingston,
and
even his like comments about like Kofi's title win were like seeped in bitterness. It's like it should have happened 10 years ago. And I'm like, when you were just coming up and you were on top, like, what do you mean?
He came right on time, my guy.
Yeah, it came right at the right time. That for Kofi, yes. Like if it was anyone else, I mean, Mark Henry within that time had been champion too. But whatever. It is what it is. You ready to go to AEW Watch? I think this is going to be one of our most enjoyable AEW watches.
Hashtag AEW Watch.
It's back.
We need a thing for it. But yes, AEW Watch. Talk about it. I'm sure you'll just have a ton of fun with this news. Talk about it.
So so about a week ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was reported from a pretty refutable source who is in no way, involved with anything wrestling. This is someone who does this. It was from Tony Maglio of the Hollywood Trade website, The Wrap, who reported that AEW was in talks with Turner Sports. So everyone was happy about that. And then in another interview, someone else asked him about, just what are some details about it? And he was just like, it was closer. It was close. It was close, but nothing was settled or set in stone yet. They asked about the format. He was like, it's going to be weekly. Everything's, it's going to be what you think it's going to be. And then he said, what's the difference between the television deals? And he said that it's not going to be anywhere near what WWE is getting, and they'll probably be buying their TV time.
All right, that's just not good business, right? It's got to be the opposite of whatever good business is.
Hey,
right?
get your hand on my pocket, man.
I couldn't. All right, so here's the thing, though.
How you sign a 360 deal?
I know, right? To a network. TV. Well, listen, they need TV is big. TV, but yes, paying for it. No, it's the opposite of whatever.
And to be fair, TNA did do this when they first started on when they started doing their weekly shows. But that's what got them the Spike deal. But the reason why we're laughing, obviously, is because of lofty expectations and
everyone's getting 6-figure deals. Yeah,
all the shit talk.
Tony Khan.
Where the shit talk at? Where's all this? Where's this and that at? Like, oh no, not going on now, huh? Paying for that, the share revenue deal is what's going on there.
It's I'm still wondering how all of this is going to come together. I'm trying to see their list of personnel currently. The corporate staff, all right? Tony Khan, Chief Executive Officer. Who else do we got here? I'm trying to figure out what business. I don't know what business deals they're gonna make, man.
Well, here's the thing. Dave Meltzer, of course, making a jack-off motion, disputed these claims. And then Voices of Wrestling, once again, jack-off motion, also said that there were sources within AEW that said that these types of deals are not on the table. But as we all know, the validity and the integrity of these two sources are like super, super low, in my opinion. I don't trust either of these guys.
It would be weird if you were paying for your own television network in 2019, but it wouldn't be, especially considering like everyone doesn't even watch TV like that anymore.
You respect Meelz? You respect that?
Do I respect? Well, all right. So as a man, that's a different story. As a person who looks at it from a business standpoint, no, I don't. But then they're new. They're also new. So it's kind of okay. I get it. But no, that would the fact that this news leaked itself is just utterly embarrassing.
Hilarity. And the people knew about this weeks ago also.
I would be, if I was signed to that roster, I'm like, yo, we getting paid, right? Like, yo.
I mean, yeah, that's the whole thing. They got money, bro. Is the whole argument for AEW is we got money, bro. They got money, bro.
Well, they got a roster right now. They've got a couple people on this roster.
They got a black tag team. Congrats.
Black tag team. A couple black people on here. We got let's see. We have a new person who pretty much it's AEW. Of course, he's going to be there. Dustin Rhodes, formerly Goldust, has retired the paint, and now will be facing Cody, I believe, at Double or Nothing.
Yes, Cody. It's the match that
should have been at Mania.
People are saying this is a money match. This is the money match. Huh?
I don't know if this is the money match, but it's certainly a match.
Bro, everything that they do is grand, and everything WWE does is not grand. It's not good at all.
I wouldn't say this is a money match, but I'd definitely say it's like a match that has like built in. It's something that we haven't been like overseen already, and then it's also could be kind of cool. But
he old, bro. Dustin is old.
Yeah, but he still can go. He's not bad. He's better than a couple people who are, aged. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not bad, but it's just like, yes. First of all, I love Goldust. I don't know about Dustin Rhodes, but yeah, we'll see.
A lot of headlocks going on in that match.
I feel like it'll be a lot of pageantry. Both of these guys are very because of their father. Both are very charismatic. Both will sort of bring that to the match because Cody doesn't have much else to bring to the match.
Cody already sucks, so like this is going to be interesting.
We'll see. But speaking of sucks, Starrcast 2. Did you hear the news?
Yeah, I heard it's more laughs. More laughs on Starrcast. You feel me? So
go ahead. You do it.
So a couple weeks ago, we talked some big shit about the Undertaker in particular being on the card for Starrcast, so to speak. And Kurt Angle, literally right after Mania, literally right after he lost, he got a
the bag, right? Totally.
So literally yesterday, they both got removed from Starrcast.
Kurt Angle, the Undertaker will no longer be appearing at Starrcast 2, and neither will Kurt Angle. Per usual, and I'm reading off of Sports Illustrated right now.
Okay. Shout out to Sports Illustrated.
Shout out to Justin Barrasso. Per usual in pro wrestling, the card is subject to change, and this time it is due to the Bergenen War between All Elite Wrestling and WWE, with the first battle centered around Starrcast. Undertaker was officially booked, and a deposit was made before the announcement. The response was overwhelmingly positive, except at the WWE offices in Stamford, Connecticut. He says pretty much, Conrad Townsend, the announcement went wide and viral. I was told it had gotten WWE attention and Vince McMahon texted Undertaker about the appearance. Taker's representation, which is a company called Get Engaged, called to tell me WWE says he cannot do it.
Turn up.
I mean, well, how long does this take to get to Vince to their radar?
2 seconds. I mean, I'm quite sure that they know everything that's going on.
Conrad said, I suggested Vince McMahon, Hunter, and/or Stephanie, and I said I would donate 100% of the proceeds to Connor's cure and match the donation personally, which would turn a negative into positive. He said Thompson was informed that McMahon would not allow any main roster replacements. He tried for Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels also could not do it because, duh.
Why would you even try for Shawn Michaels to work at NXT? Like, that's just silly.
Let's see. Yeah, I mean, they.
My own. Here's. Are you finished? I'm gonna do my. I only got one comment on this.
Let's see. play by the rules. I felt like I already have either. Well, the point is, Kurt Angle and Undertaker will not be there. They will not be there. So don't expect them.
Should have booked the A show.
Hey, karma, right?
You feel me?
Karma. It's big karma.
Fuck out of here. Fuck out of here.
Listen.
Should have booked the A show. Tell them that. Tell that. Everybody listening, tell that. Should have booked the A show.
Should have booked the A show. Could have booked a whole bunch of other things, man. All I know is
you could have paid me $500 in a hot pocket. I would have showed up and just started telling jokes.
Well, keep the hot pocket. I'll take the $500. But
both of them pay me and Meelz $500.
Well, yeah, separately, but separately. One 500, another 500. You know what I'm saying? Like the bar ain't low yet for your boy. But yes,
a little turnout.
Listen, I mean, we could have got a little turnout. Who knows? All I know is Starcast. I guess it's cool. I saw Wale Mania firsthand, and that shit was amazing.
I mean, that's probably better than Starcast.
And the experience was awesome. They had main roster superstars.
Ooh.
Tough. They had everyone you wanted to see, and then everyone also had a good time partying with these people. There's no red tape. There's no things around them, and it's like, yo, you could meet the guys, talk to the guys, take pictures with the guys. These are WWE superstars, champions, personalities, all these other things, all these other people, and people from outside of WWE too. Listen. They had a whole thing going on, and all we asked for was representation, and they couldn't even do that. So, you know what? Here's to you. Maybe Undertaker will show up with Bad Bunny at Wale Mania next year, and we'll see what happens.
Oh yeah, I mean, them dudes at Starcast don't even know what a Bad Bunny is.
Oh my God!
Play that last show for Puerto Rico.
Listen, talk about it. But yes. Sucks to be sucks. Sucks to suck.
Yeah. So I think that's all. That's no holds barred for this week. Pretty busy.
No holds barred. Yeah. Make sure you check out the call up. Specalo on on the AA show RNC feed if you want to hear some NXT stuff. So make sure you listen to that. And yeah, let's get into the news for this week, man. The rest of the shows for this week.
Yes. Let's start off with Raw this week. And actually, before we start with Raw, did you see the Shield's last ride? I did not watch it.
I did. It was very by the books.
Okay.
It was very by the books. Actually, it was pretty much everything. If you watch whatever WWE literally the night before put up this clip of the Dean Ambrose. It's like a Dean Ambrose going away tour. They've been doing this in several cities leading up to the show.
Right.
So if you've seen the clip, it's pretty much the same thing. It was a great moment. They had two opening matches to it. I believe it was Finn Balor and Elias, and then also the Riot Squad versus Bayley and Ember Moon. Just an interesting event. Not anything I would go out my way to see, to be honest with you, but
it's content. It's content.
Yeah, it's content for the network. These are some things that people are like, oh, if we had live events, would you pay $10 more for the WWE network? Not really, but it's kind of cool.
Also, before the shows hit this week, they had another reshuffling of the roster. You had Aleister Black, Andrade, and Zelina move back, or actually Andrade and Zelina moved back to SmackDown. Aleister moved to SmackDown as well, and Cesaro and of course Samoa Joe moved to Raw. I think it's pretty obvious why these things happen. They moved Andrade obviously to be on the same show as Charlotte because they don't break up couples, and because it's like some weird equation, and because Zelina is married to Aleister Black, he had to go to SmackDown too.
Yo, check out the power of Charlotte right now. Out Charlotte right now. Charlotte was like, yo, give me my man back.
Think about that roster. Think about the way that she had to shift a whole roster.
Listen, and then I bet he went to Carano. She went to Carano. She was just like, yo, I need my man back. She was like, y'all are dating? He was like, yes, check the gram. You know that we're dating. I need Andrade back on SmackDown Tuesday. Now. It was like, well, we can't just not move Zelina. Move Zelina. Well, Zelina has to be with Aleister. Then move Aleister. I need Andrade back now. Have you seen it? Like, why would you try to break? I'm sure she was like, you know what? Maybe, AEW is calling. Maybe I'll. Oh,
she didn't pull that.
Maybe I'll take a trip over there, and maybe Andrade will join me, and we'll see how you guys enjoy your life without Charlotte.
Andrade literally said, "You green." It's fuck for saying that.
Yo, I'm sure Andrade is like, okay. Like, I'm sure he was lit on Raw anyway, and he was like, "Oh, I'm back on SmackDown now." Okay,
whatever.
I get it. Yeah.
No, listen. No explanation for any of this, by the way. None. Like they don't even mention why Alistair's there. They just
Hey, I mean, it worked. You know what? I'm not mad at it. Get it out the way. If you need to do things to sort of fix the rosters, even after the sort of the shuffle, if things look a little sketchy, things look a little different, things don't necessarily match up, I'm okay with it being like, let's get this person over there. Let's get this person over there. I think they could have done it if they still had GMs. They could have done a nice little trade thing.
Yeah.
But we ain't got those. So you know what? WWE's not insulting our intelligence. He was like, yo, we're just moving these guys over. And just accept it.
I don't think a bigger explanation needed to happen. I think it's obvious.
And no one was mad about it. And who would be mad about it, to be honest with you?
It's like the last name getting cut. Like no one cares.
Yeah, really. Seriously.
Raw. The real Post Mania show, as I said before, we're in the hangover period where it's like they actually have to start building these rosters. I love to say what I said last year. Let's wait till 6 weeks to see really who won. I don't like to say a certain show won or another show won. I think somebody was in our Twitter comments. Somebody responded like, "Why does it have to be which show won?" And I was just saying, I don't even think last week we even said any show won. We just rated.
I feel like we might have said like which show came out better. And we're just like, you know what? I like the moves to Raw. I mean, now that it's a little bit different, I may like the moves to SmackDown a little bit more.
Yeah.
But it's cool. You know what? It's cool. We're on the road now to sort of Money in the Bank 2019.
4 weeks. They got 4 weeks of TV to try and fill. I'm shook because they do not do well with this.
Well, that's crazy because it's just crazy. We spent 2 weeks setting up the roster, and now we're just now we're on the way to Money in the Bank. But let's talk about these shows, man. Let's talk about them.
Seth Rollins at the top. He got new challengers for the Universal title, and of course we got a one challenger that overcame all of it at the end. There were 2 triple threat matches, one between Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, and Rey Mysterio, and one with The Miz, Drew McIntyre, and Baron Corbin. Listen, both of these triple threats were bangers. I was concerned about the Miz one, and that one ended up being really fucking good.
All of these are, you know what? I'm a fan of triple threat matches. I know the superstars themselves aren't a fan because there's so many moving parts to it, but I'm a fan of triple threat matches. And I'll say that both of these, there are 2 very distinct, different triple threat matches, which is what I appreciated. You kind of had the one where it was like, here are the guys who've been around for a while, been around in the game, and Rey Mysterio, Samoa Joe, and AJ Styles, kind of really putting on and really putting in a tremendous effort during this match. I think all 3 guys really just showed up and showed out. And it made you think like, yo, this Miz, Drew McIntyre, Baron Corbin match, all these guys that have been like, through the WWE system, all these type of things. And they also have a banger of a match. These are 3 guys who are also very capable in the ring. And
what was your favorite triple threat?
I'm going to go with the AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Rey Mysterio one. And that's the same one. Yeah, that's no slight to the other triple threat match, but I just, it was what it was. I felt the true, intensity in that match. But the other triple threat match was good too. I'd recommend both you guys. I mean, I'd recommend everybody just kind of going back to both of them.
Yeah, 2 really good TV matches. And so essentially the winner of both of these triple threat matches would face each other at the end of the show in the main event. So AJ Styles won the first one, of course, in a spectacular match, and Baron Corbin won in very sleazy fashion, if you will. But it managed to make Drew McIntyre still look kind of strong. In losing because he wasn't actually pinned. The Miz was pinned after a Claymore kick.
Face Miz gets pinned all the time. I'm just letting people know by now.
Yeah, that's just what's going to happen. So we had AJ Styles versus Baron Corbin, which I thought was, AJ tried his best. I think in that match.
You had a match. All right, so here's the thing. We shake up the rosters. We shake them up. We shake them up really, really good. And then you headline the first Raw after the shakeup with AJ Styles versus Baron Corbin. I'm not sure what they see in Baron Corbin, but Baron Corbin ain't ever been it. in my opinion. Like, not even close.
Ain't ever, bruh. Ain't ever been it.
They, in terms of closing a show, like, the fastest way for me to tune out is like, okay, Baron Corbin is now booked in twice in this show, and he's in the main event.
I'm gonna keep it 100. I did not watch the main event live. I watched it on YouTube.
I didn't watch it. Yeah, why would you? It's Baron Corbin versus AJ Styles.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. But it ended up with a match that we didn't think we were gonna get really this soon, but it did end up with AJ Styles.
I felt like we were gonna get. You know what? I felt it in my hearts of hearts after last week that we were gonna get the AJ Styles Seth Rollins thing, because I feel like after the shakeup, they kind of need a big match, and I really don't think they were gonna. I really don't think they wanted to go 4 weeks with trying to tell the story of Baron Corbin versus Seth Rollins. Yuck.
And when nobody believe it.
Yeah, and because no one would care. Yeah. But the AJ Styles versus Seth Rollins match, which is now happening at Money in Bank, is for the Universal Championship.
I think it's gonna be a good match, honestly. I know a lot of people are very. Listen, we know AJ's banged up. I think that's obvious. I think you just look at the way he moves now. It's not as crisp as it was when he came to the company in 2016 or when he was, on the indies in New Japan and stuff like that in 2015. I think Seth, again, is very underrated. Like, do you get the Seth hate? Like, I don't understand it.
There's Seth hate?
There's a lot of Seth hate, at least probably in the circles that I see on my timeline. Like,
really,
I think Seth is at least top 5 in the company, in like, if not on his show.
Right. I think
he's really great. I think that, of course, it does seem like he was hotter a year ago. I will say that. I think that they waited too long to pull the trigger on him as far as
I think it was very tepid in terms of just like, I think a lot of it was due to Brock Lesnar not being there and the injury and all this other stuff like that. So it's kind of like building it back up, but you're not going to get the same Seth Rollins is now at the top. You're not going to get no longer the chase, the intensity, the hunger that you get from before. Now it's going to be a little bit different. I'm more interested in sort of how they tell the story of this feud, because I think the match itself is going to be it's not going to be a bad match by any means. Now, we hope so. We've seen AJ Styles have bad matches against people we thought that wouldn't have bad matches against.
Yeah, he's had stinkers with people that he should, like, the Kevin Owens thing still perplexes me to this day.
The Kevin Owens thing, a couple of those Samoa Joe matches, more than half of the Nakamura matches, like, he hasn't been hitting it on all cylinders, and I feel like these are opponents that he's kind of like picking as well. I'm not saying that he has any sort of stroke to do that, but I feel like he definitely does have an influence being, a top superstar and being the guy and being a great worker. And
they love him. I think it's odd. I think we were all scared about AJ's like height, his size, his style of wrestling. Like, it's obvious this company is all in on AJ Styles. Like,
100%.
Regardless of where he is.
So I think I'm more interested in sort of the story of how they're telling this match, and these two guys who have never faced off once against each other. Both of them are faces. Both of them are very capable of being someone who can carry the brand. I'm interested in sort of that story. I do think, hot take, one of them at the buy Money in the Bank, one of them will no longer be a face.
Gotta be AJ turning here.
I feel like AJ is going to turn.
Yeah, AJ as a heel works on Raw, where AJ as a face works on SmackDown. I think. Yeah, I think AJ as the top heel on Raw works for me
because it doesn't. I think sort of the heel alignment side of Raw needs a bigger shakeup, and I think AJ Styles can certainly bring that. It prolongs the feud, then it does a whole bunch of other different things. It gives a couple more new opponents for him to face, because a lot of people who he faced before end up coming to Raw. So you know what? I don't want to give away too many things too soon, but that's kind of where I think it's going, and it will certainly prolong the feud. But I mean,
it's the AJ Styles feud, so you already know this is going 5 months.
Are you excited? Yeah. Are you excited for the match itself?
Yeah, absolutely. I really, 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 really think it's going to be great. I think AJ's gonna really put on his A game here. I think it's like, it doesn't happen often, but I do think that AJ is still capable of pulling out the 4.5 5-star matches that we saw him do with John Cena. And I think Seth Rollins, he willed Nakamura to a match that I thought was really good at last November at Survivor Series. So I think it's possible.
All right, let's see where it goes.
Next up, oh boy, Becky. Meelz, can we do? we have this conversation about Becky, or do you want to like wait to have this specific conversation about Becky's in ring?
I'm ready to wait because I don't see what we're judging it against. It's Alicia fucking Fox to me.
Well, I don't think a lot of that matches on Alicia. I'm gonna keep it a hundo.
Alicia has not been in the ring for a number of months. You know what? Because she's not been on WWE television. She hasn't been featured in any house shows. She hasn't been featured on any pay-per-views.
Well, I'm going to use this match, and I'm going to use that WrestleMania main event. I'm definitely using that as conversation fodder.
That match to me was not going to live up to the hype. Like it was never going to live up to the hype, and especially the way it kind of ended and the everything that going on in that match, it was never going to live up to the hype. I don't think these sort of matches can be a barometer of what, Becky can necessarily is what she's capable of, or she's not pulling off things in the ring. I think she's fine. You're not going to get the best match. I'll be honest. How many people have had really amazing matches against Alicia Fox?
Well, I think, well, number one, here's my thing. Alicia Fox, as you said, shouldn't have been in the ring. I think that there are a lot of women on that roster that could have done it. It could have been Sarah Logan. It could have been anybody on the roster that is at least competent enough to get a head scissors right. But, they had a bad match. I think that it went on too long. I don't like them still having Becky take offense, like especially from Alicia Fox. I didn't like that idea.
Well, so Alicia Fox is a veteran though. I'm not going to say like, she's like thing, but it's like she's a veteran. So I see why they would give her offense. And I think it's more so respect by that because she's the longest tenured female wrestler in the WWE. Somehow, but like,
damn that she the Brooklyn Brawler to me, the female.
I mean, yeah, she kind of roughly is. To be honest with you, she's Alicia Fox is she's capable, but she's never been someone who's like really delivered. But she's someone that people don't mind working with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the match was an end to kind of mean because it really just led up to the way it ended, which was Lacey Evans showing up and handing her the woman's right.
Yeah, why did it take Becky 2 women's rights to actually like be knocked out?
Because it's not a real finisher. It's not a good one. Like it's a hokey finisher.
So that was the match with Lacey Evans and Becky for Money in the Bank was announced, and it is the first of 2 matches that Becky will have. And I guess when we get to SmackDown, we'll kind of have our thoughts on the second match that she's going to have. But really interesting whether they're going to book Becky on this match. I think they're really in Money in the Bank. The big through line and the big storyline will be hers yet again from this type of booking.
Yeah.
Next up, Sami Zayn's pipe bomb. I just had to put that on there because they gave him 5 minutes to go out there and cut a promo. And by God, Sami Zayn is, I think, top 3 on the mic this year so far.
Once again, always. I've said this before, but Sami Zayn is one of the greatest thespians in the WWE. And the man, it takes something and even it's just showing Instagram pictures and makes it make sense and adds depth and weight to it and why he feels this way about the WWE universe and why he's going to act the way he is. I think this is all setting up if they do this right, because to me in the past, they've never truly showed faith in Sami Zayn as someone who could really be a contender, someone who could go the distance, someone who wins actual matches when it counts. Mm-hmm. If they do this right, I think they're in the making of one of the biggest heels in the company right now because Sami Zayn really knows how to push the buttons of the fans. And it isn't just cheap heat. It's kind of it's also demoralizing and making them feel like terrible people, which is what he did all through his promo. It was great.
The part where he says after he took a picture on the mountain, he dropped to his knees in tears. I lost it. I fucking lost it.
Listen, Sami Zayn 316 says go to hell. That's all I got to say.
No, this Raw wasn't perfect. I didn't think it was a bad show. But I thought
it was a very Raw by the numbers show after it was all said and done. It was the rawsiest of Raws.
There were 2 things on the show that pissed me off. One of them was Ricochet losing in an anticlimactic way and this actually made me cut the show off. Losing the bout to Robert Roode. I was like, what they always do this, and they did this with Punk, I think a long time ago. I hate to, just to bring up Punk again, but they did this to him in the Hardcore Holly, where they had Punk go on this undefeated streak on ECW. Then out of nowhere, he lost to Hardcore Holly. And it was like, okay, sure, I get it. They have to lose. You know, we don't like undefeated streaks on the show anyway. So it's just like, we get it. But he's already lost hella fucking tag team title matches. You know, they've already lost so much. And it's like, they're his first match on Raw proper. He loses to, or his first singles match, he loses to Robert Roode, who, again, no one has, like, why are we getting over Bobby Roode? Like, he's just a hand to me at this point. Like,
Robert Roode's time, man. You see this mustache. It's glorious. Like, what is this
feud? Like, it's like you put Ricochet in this stupid fucking feud. And it was so hilarious because, like, earlier in the day, I said Ricochet will be fine on Raw. And then they do this, and he has like the worst fucking match you could have with Ricochet, like the most boring fucking match you could have with Ricochet, where he's in a headlock for like 10 minutes.
You know what? I get what they're doing. Again, I agree with you. I agree with they're attempting to make Robert Roode, sort of really stamp something on Robert Roode. This is a new guy. This is someone that you should sort of look out for. This is someone who previously on the roster really had, you know, when he moved to Raw, kind of just had really nothing going on and kind of didn't fit in the scene. Whereas it's someone now who could be used, especially a guy against Ricochet. I think this will be used to put over Ricochet eventually. But yeah, he lost this match, unfortunately. I think it sucks, but I feel like this is building up to like Ricochet's like first true program. You know what I'm saying? On the main roster.
I hope so. I really hope they have something for him. I really do, because in him, not only him, but Cedric Alexander. I very confused and concerned about the positioning here of having him and Cesaro, who that's their first week on this show, and having them have a match against each other and having it not even just. It didn't have to be Cedric Alexander because he did lose this match, but neither of them should be losing.
Right.
That's my thing. Like, neither of them should be losing. Why the fuck isn't Ricochet getting a victory over fucking Baron Corbin? Why isn't those types of things happening? Or why isn't Cedric Alexander being made to, like, giving a chance to showcase what he's done on 205 Live? It's like a lot of the match with Cesaro was literally Cesaro just literally shutting him down. Yeah. And he didn't get off any of his cool spots because he's facing someone that's not going to be able, that's not going to be able to show all of his strengths. And I'm concerned about Cedric Alexander's positioning. I think that he's looking like, to me, he's going to be a Lucha House Party level jobber on the show.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing. Let's wait the 6 weeks. Let's see how it goes. Let's see where the trajectory of this goes, because I don't think that it's completely over with it. But I do think, similar to how they've done last week, where they kind of wanted to put over the shakeups, they kind of want to put over this new environment on Raw. And I think that Cesaro coming in, getting a win, which he doesn't get very often, and he's coming back to sort of his singles sort of world. And also Robert Roode doing that as well. Now, I think it needed to be, against those guys, yes, they probably could have, if they wanted to sort of do this, they probably could have done it against anyone else. But these guys are guys to have on Raw. Like, why not do? How about this? I'll posit this. Why not do Ricochet, Cedric Alexander, and Cesaro, Robert Roode? And a tag team?
No, just the matches. Why not swap those, and have two matches where these two guys can show their strengths, and those two and Cesaro can show his strength. And even if Cesaro did lose, it was to someone who's already established on the show.
Well, it's face versus face and heel versus heel. I think they're just trying to reestablish these people, reestablish sort of the landscape. It's kind of like, after we're shaking things up, now we're kind of just like setting everything up and making sure everything's sort of calibrated. There's a mid-card scene now that they're kind of rebuilding. With Robert Roode.
Ricochet is firmly in it.
Ricochet's in it. I mean, I don't think he's going to be a guy who loses all the time. I just think on this instance, yes, he did lose. But I think he's a highlight of Raw. Cedric Alexander, once again, I'm not sure of. I'm never sure of it, but we'll see. I
don't see an Ali-like trajectory for him.
Not on Raw, probably not, because Raw is it's just a different animal than Friday Night SmackDown. Friday Night SmackDown, I feel like a lot more opportunities can be given, especially with the people who are on the show. With Raw, it's a little bit of a different energy. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see is what I can say.
One last thing on Raw. Bray Wyatt.
The Firefly Funhouse.
Bray
The
Wyatt.
repackage.
How'd you feel about it?
I'm intrigued. This is something that is very old school. Hink, hink, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, in terms of who has,
Bruce
created this character. It's very old school. It's very different. I can see him getting into it. I can see this going on for a very long time as well.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what they're building up to, because the problem with Bray Wyatt, I don't think this completely solves the problem with Bray Wyatt.
No, I don't either. I won't get burned again. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I don't think this completely solves the problem. I think this gives him a fresh new outlook. But when we put, Bray Wyatt back in the ring and we're going through the sort of motions with that again, I don't know if this solves the same problem that we've had, which is that he's not, while his character seems larger than life, the person who's bringing it isn't as dynamic as one would like to see him. And that's kind of always been his issue over the last pretty much close to a decade now, is that everyone gets kind of burnt out on Bray Wyatt. Like he did the thing, he does the thing, he has these matches. None of the matches are necessarily great. He's really had only one really great match in WWE since he showed up.
Daniel Bryan, right?
Yeah, against Daniel Bryan.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of it. So we'll see. We'll see. It's very interesting. I dig it.
I felt nothing. I literally felt nothing about.
I dig it. It's different. I dig it. Did you hear the fake news about
from Brad Shepard?
Yeah. The shareholders may not be happy with this thing because
which is why they showed it on SmackDown too.
Because the news, how it was reported, was that it kind of hints at like this cult-like behavior that they don't want their children to be affected by or join some sort of cult. I don't know about that.
Cap. Put the cap on him. He's never said anything correct. He might have gotten like one thing right ever.
Yeah. That's Raw. Raw also featured Naomi beating Billie Kay. Was it Billie Kay?
It was Billie Kay.
Naomi beating Billie Kay.
Yeah.
And also the Revival and the Usos finally coming face to face.
I can't wait for that, boy. I can't wait for that.
Oh man, do you think it's gonna headline the kickoff show or the actual show? Or
wow. Okay. All right. I'm done. Also, no Bobby Roode. No Bobby Lashley and
no
Leo
Bobby Lashley. Whew. That is weird, huh?
Yeah. Very, very weird.
In terms of Universal Championship matches were going down and they weren't featured.
I don't know why you're not putting him with Cedric or somebody,
Huh.
I think that'd be cool. Or Ricochet. That'd be cool.
Huh. Okay.
But then you fall into the same, Bobby tossing Ricochet around, it would be pretty cool.
They're about to be a tag team again. I know it.
Oh,
They're about to be tag
All
team
right,
champions.
I can't. Let's move on to SmackDown. SmackDown Live. Yet another post. I was okay with this. It was okay. SmackDown seemed really quick this week.
It seemed very, very quick.
Very, very quick. Kofi's first feud is revealed during Kofi's match with Shinsuke Nakamura, which ended in a DQ, which is like, once again, Meelz, like, they do not beat Nakamura ever.
Yeah, I don't know why. It's weird.
No one beats him.
Just let him pin him. Just Jesus Christ, he's right there. He doesn't even doing anything.
Like, is it in his contract that no one can beat him except AJ Styles?
I think one of the writers has some affection.
As soon as the DQ happened, I was like, why are we protecting
Nakamura? Right? Totally, right? 100%.
It's weird. But I think that goes into what we're going to talk about in a second. But of course, the impossible happened, or I guess not impossible. Kevin Owens finally played his hand and he turned on the New Day, and Kofi beat the shit out of two guys by himself.
They invited him to the cookout, and this is what happens. This is what happens when you invite him to the cookout.
Gary Owen.
Listen, this is what happened. Justin Timberlake. The list goes on and on. You invite him to the cookout. This is what happens. They will always.
Sean King.
They will always let you down, and this was no different. So
I pumped my fist so hard I almost gave myself Tommy John's when
God.
when he gave him the super kick.
So here's the question I asked for you. Do you think this was always in the plan?
No. I think Brian not being there directly affected this. I'm honest. I'm not worried about Brian, but I don't think he's going to be back for a while.
Do you think they wanted, because I feel like the face run of Kevin Owens.
I liked it.
I liked it. I felt like it could have been given a lot more legs, which it wasn't because of it being in the momentous shadow of Kofi Mania. But I think post that,
I love that one right there.
But I mean, it was what it was. But I think it could have been given a lot more legs. I like seeing the stunner. I think we could have had a couple more matches out of it and a lot more things going on.
It was just too obvious when he joined the New Day. I think it was like they could have waited a couple weeks.
That's my main thing with this. I feel like, we could have waited. They could have literally maybe pulled like Kofi versus Nakamura at like Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
And then that's when he does the turn. After that match.
Cool. That would have been cool.
After the match. I feel like this happened way too soon. I felt like it's way too quick. I'm sure for Kevin Owens, in his eyes, it won't be quick. For Kevin Owens, it's like, since the day I stepped back, this guy and you guys and all these other stuff, like, I'm sure I got to fight for my family, et cetera, et cetera. I'm sure that's going to be the reason why. But I feel like they could have dragged this out a little bit more. I feel like we didn't even get, like, we weren't even led astray. Like, oh, man, maybe he'll turn. Oh, no, damn.
Yeah.
Like, we were just whatever.
I think my biggest issue isn't with Kevin Owens' heel turn. I mean, I think we were uneasy as soon as he came back. We were all saying it was going to happen. It's a foregone conclusion. I would have liked to see Sammy as a heel on one show and KO as a face on another. I think that's a cool dynamic in case they ever like a Survivor Series they meet. You know,
right?
Like, I thought that would have been cool. But I'm more, again, I love the word positioning. I'm more concerned with Kofi's positioning, and I gave it time. But I mean, literally 2 weeks later, he was still throwing pancakes, and it was the jolly. It was a gee golly, I'm glad I'm here type thing. That I'm just
that's the gimmick. That's the gimmick. What do you want? There isn't the Daniel Bryan.
Meelz. Let me.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me talk, bro. And I think that they completely made Kofi look like a complete idiot during this whole ordeal with Kevin Owens. I think that, like, trusting him in the first place, knowing who he is. You've been on the show with this guy for 2 years nearly, and you know who he is, and you're still trusting him for no reason. And then he basically beat up your whole squad by himself. I think it makes Kofi look fucking idiotic. And again, I really do question a lot of what they're doing. It's just, and again, it's falling into the same issues that I had with him winning the belt in the first place. It's like, what's next? And it's like, if this is next, I don't know. Kevin Owens rarely, if ever, doesn't win these types of feuds.
I feel like every time this happens, I mean, I wouldn't say any Kofi looks any, stupider than Sami Zayn or Chris Jericho or anybody else who trusted Kevin Owens, and, he's turned on them. I think this was always going to happen, and this was always just kind of going to be the result. There was never going to be like some amicable split where they're like, oh, now we're in direct competition with one another. It was always going to be someone's going to catch someone slipping and then turn on them. That's kind of what it is. In terms of just how Kofi Kingston's thus far, he's still throwing pancakes. That's the gimmick. That's how they make his money, man. Like, that's kind of what he's done. I think the road to WrestleMania and him becoming a lot more serious about this and a lot more steadfast and a lot more forward about the things that he wanted and fighting back and all this other stuff, I think that was because of the story. But we're reeling back from it. The intensity isn't as high anymore. I don't think this is I don't know if this can be called sort of a major feud. I don't feel like this is I feel like this is sort of like, let's see what Kofi Kingston can do, really. This is their, like, let's see how he does his champion type of deal. Like what they did with Eddie Guerrero and JBL, or like what they did with, Chris Benoit and the people who kind of faced after Triple H and things like that. Like, I think this is let's see what he can do. Let's see if he can bring anything. And if it's not working, we're going to take the championship off of him. And I'm not mad at it. The moment we already got, and I think the moment, once again, I said this before Mania, I think the moment superseded. It's going to supersede and has superseded and will always be remembered. The reign may not be what we expect it to be.
Yeah, thank you.
But
we had this, and I'm saying, like, if he loses in a month, that's
I'm not mad.
That's where we saw it at Fastlane. If he did it at Fastlane, you know?
I'm not mad. I'm not mad if he loses in a month because we kind of got the moment. Now, I do think hopefully what I'm hoping for at least is that I just hope it brings Kofi Kingston to another level. I just think it's just in general, just him being a former WWE champion or a WWE champion or anything like that. I hope it takes him to the next level. That's what I'm kind of hoping for. And I think that's what WWE is hoping for as well.
He's currently like the top face on the show. So like, other than the other guy we're going to talk about, but it's like the attention I can already see shifting very quickly on that when Roman's ready, you know?
Well, yeah, I think they're keeping them very far apart. Like,
yeah,
you could even see like Roman Reigns at the top of the show and Kofi Kingston's at the end of the show.
Exactly.
They don't even want any like. I don't even want to cool down. I don't want anything. Like, we're doing this right there and there. And then also I could see Kevin Owens and Elias versus Roman Reigns and Kofi Kingston, and I could also see that. And them sort of lending that star power to Kofi Kingston in this match. So. We'll see how they goes from here. Do you want to talk about the Roman Reigns and Elias thing?
We gotta get to Becky thing. I think that's more important right now.
Okay.
We're getting Becky and Charlotte again.
We're getting Becky and Charlotte again. I will say the way they set up this match, I'm not mad at it. We got a very good Bayley versus Charlotte match.
And before we get off the Kofi and Nakamura thing, I think Kofi and Nakamura had a very good match. I thought the match was really good. I think Nakamura is actually kind of like, is he inspired? Like, he's been doing some crazy shit lately.
No, he might just be rested or something. He might.
This is true. All the surfing. But my issue with the way that this was set up, and of course this was set up with Becky and Charlotte having a face-to-face. So that's what it was prefaced as. And a lot of people were already groaning and moaning about it, as they should. And Becky came out and said, hey, I want to, Charlotte, you can't just come in the show and demand a title shot. You lost. And that led to Charlotte
saying, I didn't lose. I wasn't pinned.
And that led to Charlotte
win. So there you go.
That led to Charlotte and Bayley having like a 10 to 15 minute match, which was really good. But
the gutsiest performance I've seen of Bayley in years since her last Charlotte match, to be honest with you.
She don't got to carry nobody no more. Shit. Why they have Becky look stupid here? I know this isn't done. I know this situation isn't finished. I don't think this writes Bayley off whatsoever. But why they have her do this?
Why they have this? Becky look dumb? How so?
Bayley. Why they have Bayley?
Oh, sorry. Why Bayley look dumb?
It just. I mean, it's
because you can afford to have Bayley look dumb, and like Bayley's a.
You could have put Ember here.
Yeah, they could have put anybody here, but I think in terms of people who have a
history,
and you're going to get a great match out of it, and you're going to have people invested because you've seen this before, and it does have the history.
I don't know. We're going back
Ember
to
Moon. No, the Ember Moon thing I could have seen happen, but I think they have. Though here's the thing, I think they have plans for Ember Moon, but they're still not sure when they're ever pulling the trigger. It's like, okay, let's heat up Ember Moon in 6 months, and then it's like, but then, damn, this Bayley program is really slapping right now. Like, oh man, let's do that. Like, I feel like Ember Moon is always on the back burner, but I do feel like they have plans for it because they haven't really pulled the trigger on anything big, and I think the possibility is there. Either that or she's going to be put in a tag team with Liv Morgan or something.
I don't know. I don't like the, it's a match that's happening. I think they have perfect chemistry together. Becky and Charlotte.
I like the match. It felt fresh to me. Becky and Charlotte, in terms of it happening again, I called it. I feel like I called it before Mania. And I called even the double match thing because I felt like you have this champion now who's not an undisputed champion, who's merely a champion that's holding two belts.
Yeah.
and you promoted her as the gutsiest, toughest, the man SOB thing, and it's like, okay, now it's time to put your money where your mouth is. Now you have to defend both championships against both eager, hungry competitors. You have Lacey Evans, who is a hungry newcomer. It's kind of a very, stark difference from where Charlotte is and where Lacey Evans is. Lacey Evans is new. She's hungry. Yes, they're both tall and blonde and athletic, but she's hungry. She wants to knock off the man, and she's going to have to try it. Whereas Charlotte Flair doesn't have a good record against Becky Lynch in recent months. She has not pinned Becky Lynch in recent months.
Over 6 months.
Really since since before SummerSlam, where this all kind of began and was all conjured up.
Actually, she didn't even pin her in the SummerSlam match. Shit.
No, she didn't pin her in the SummerSlam match. She hasn't pinned her at all. Becky Lynch has come out on top on multiple occasions. So it's now, to me, this is the finale. If this could be a Hell in a Cell, I would go for it, but it's not going to be. But this looks like the sort of final encounter. This is kind of like, okay, let's wrap this thing up. I feel like this was always the plan after Ronda, because these two were going to be the two people left, and you still have a big sort of Post Mania program to sort of draw attention after that. I feel like this is sort of where the book kind of ends. Well, yeah.
Is it? Here's my thing.
I don't know, because
there's so many ways they can go
because
here.
of the double match thing. That kind of the gimmick of that, the two matches things, kind of takes over the idea of this being like the final match.
There are so many ways that this could end. Obviously, I think the best way for this to go would be for Becky to have there's the women's Money in the Bank happening. So
yes.
you'd have ideally have the women's Money in the Bank.
If the Money in the Bank winner is any genius at all.
Yeah, they'll wait till the second one. Would you have Becky close the show? I don't know, but I'd either have the Becky match on first.
Yeah, I would have Becky close the show.
I'd have the Becky Lacey match go on first, because I think the gimmick is that Becky should be trying to finish either of these matches fast.
Yes, so
that she can have another match. So I'd have the Becky Lacey match go like 10 minutes. Then I have the women's Money in the Bank. Then the rest of the dudes. Then I'd have the Becky Charlotte match close the show, because obviously that's like the big marquee match here. Mm-hmm. And I'd have the Money in the Bank winner. If it's Bayley that wins the Money in the Bank, I don't think Bayley would steal it from Becky. I think she'd make it a triple threat match.
Yeah, she would do something stupid like that.
So yes. If Becky did have a long match against Lacey, she would be able to be like rested and knocked out on the outside or something like that.
Yeah, because I'm interested to see where they kind of go for the women's Money in the Bank winner. There's a lot of options out there.
Who do you think is going to be in it?
It depends how many people they want in it. So they're planning on announcing the Raw side. I believe they plan on announcing the Raw side next Monday on Raw during Alexa Bliss's segment. Yeah. I feel like Alexa Bliss will be in it, just because why not? Yeah. If this is any opportunity to announce Sasha Banks, this is it.
I don't think she's going to be in it.
Okay. Well, if not, Raw side is looking kind of whack. But but
where the fuck is Nikki Cross at, bro?
That's a good question. I don't know.
So that's happening, and then we have Roman Reigns once again against the McMahons. It was announced on Tuesday that it's going to be Roman Reigns and Elias at Money in the Bank. Again, I think it's super, super clear like what's going on here. I don't think Roman's ready for like a full crazy schedule yet. I think an Elias thing is like, the best thing for him. It's not going to be like a super like engaging match, but I think it's going to play the hits, and it's going to be kind of like the Drew McIntyre match.
Yeah, I think, Elias, they're both new to SmackDown. They both came from Raw. They're both having this match. I like the little foil of having the McMahons involved in it, and Elias becoming kind of like a pawn, or like, the McMahons always need a guy. And if you're going to put anyone behind, if anyone kind of needs it, to me, it's Elias. who's kind of been doing the same thing for a long time and kind of needs a new wrinkle to his character for people to hate him. It's like, oh man, he's a corporate guy. He's kind of sold out now. He's to sort of add a little bit of something new to the sort of character and kind of how it's been, because him just playing the guitar, I don't think it's going to happen too many times on SmackDown, to be honest with you, with the amount of time that they got. They got time for all that guitar playing, but now Elias, they don't have time for all of that. That's why he was playing on top of a car last week. but yeah, we'll see. Roman Reigns versus Elias. It was legitimately like the first match announced for Money in the Bank, which was weird as hell. It was like Roman Reigns versus Elias for Money in the Bank. It's like, this is what we're okay.
Cool. I mean, once again, it's giving me Raw rerun vibes. I kind of like, it gives me itchy. It makes me itch. But at the same time,
it's called the Rawsiest Raw match on Twitter.
Yeah, it's definitely something that's gonna go down. I don't see it being a very long match, but I think Elias is entertaining, and I think Shane McMahon using Elias as his proxy is fucking great. And I think heel Shane McMahon is he's won me over. I think he's great.
Yeah.
Some last things before we stop on SmackDown. Andrade and Finn had another match, really good match. I think their chemistry is off the charts.
It's 100%. If this is leading towards, I mean, the really 50-50 booking as well.
Yeah, but I would think that I'd love to see them go back and forth with the IC title.
Let them do that. Also, put them in Money in the Bank too.
Oh yeah, for sure. They're definitely going to be in Money in the Bank. I think Finn's, this will be his third or fourth one.
Yeah,
and this will be Andrade's first, so that's going to be really cool. And we did see Aleister Black.
What did you think of the promo? Very,
very heelish. Very bad guyish.
Yes. I mean, well, I wouldn't say very bad guyish, but very. We don't know where his allegiance lies currently. The mere fact that they've done this is kind of like, huh. He kind of took all Mojo Rawley's steez, by the way, too.
Fuck him. I think that it's cool. I think that you make Aleister Black. I think one thing that was kind of getting me about, even though it was cool to see my main roster, was that like that entrance is like a moment. And I think if SmackDown gives him a chance to have Mystique again, where the show isn't 3 hours long. He's able to have very focused feuds where he doesn't have to be intertwined with anybody else, and they can keep they can keep him off of TV for a second while these other storylines congeal, and they can kind of figure out where to slot him at. Like, I'm cool with that, and especially if it's gonna be leading up to him coming back and having a new character in a new format. Because I already like this better than a lot of the stuff he was doing in NXT, and I think he cuts a really good promo too.
I think it adds to the persona of him and kind of gives it. Before, he just kind of seemed like a guy with tattoos who was doing cool stuff and stuff like that. Now it kind of adds a layer to him of just like, who is this guy? Yeah. And kind of sets the context for like promos that may become, or just the character or his motivations, a lot of different things. I think everyone should sort of pay attention to these promos because they will be very important.
But what do you think his first feud will be?
Kofi Kingston, huh?
Fuck out of here.
You would love that. Come on, don't say fuck out of here. You would love that. You would love every second of that.
Ali? I think Ali. Ali would be cool.
It would be cool, if I, what? I don't know. There's so much various talent on SmackDown. I don't know. It could be anybody.
I say Ali or Finn Balor.
Okay. Can I talk about my new favorite thing from both of these shows?
What's that?
The Iconics. Everything about the Iconics except that's on the show.
The post show stuff, not
the post show shenanigans, man.
What are they leading to with them losing every week?
They're just lovable losers. I feel like, you know what? Nothing is transferred or created or destroyed from them winning or losing. It just exists. And they're just champions who haven't have it all figured out right now. But that's okay because they're really funny. They're like really funny. Like, they send me to Chuckletown. Like, they're very funny.
I think Billy popping Peyton every single time they do a backstage interview is spectacular. I think she's trying to make her corpse every time.
Go watch the Post Smackdown thing where the interview comes up to them is like, why are you losing? You lost on Monday, now you've lost on Tuesday. What doesn't make? And she's like, you know what? I think my bladder was just full of too much water. So they go into the bathroom and they're like, you can't come in here. This is a girl's bathroom. And literally come out like 4 seconds later and it's like, yeah, we're finished. They're funny. They are classic. They're going to make amazing faces one day. They've won me over, not by wrestling skill or anything that sort of matters to other people, but by purely just being very offbeat, funny women, which they don't have. WWE's never had funny women characters before. I'll say that.
Sasha Banks just threw her fucking table at the window.
Sasha Banks?
Or she will hear that.
Oh,
She will do that when she hears that.
They've never had funny women before. They've never had women that are comedy acts, which is groundbreaking in a sense, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a women's evolution. Both of them.
It just means there are more to these characters than them being just women be crazy and just hating one another. Like sometimes women can be silly, or sometimes women could obey the moon or something like that. It's just, it's all women's revolution.
Is it obvious who is going to take the titles off of them? I think, again, the titles are in like a huge holding pattern. I'm guessing this is going to set up a triple threat or something like that where Kairi and Asuka and whoever.
Asuka looks so bored on Tuesday.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still not.
Asuka's like, yo, what am I doing here?
Why did they have her come out in the robe, but she was wearing the t-shirt?
She don't have regular clothes, bro. They haven't established her with regular clothes yet. Like, she's always Asuka. She's here to fight, but she looks so bored. And the whole thing with Paige too, the Paige thing still to me doesn't completely make sense to me about why she would bring them in, other than I brought in two women before.
And they can't be heel because Kairi is like not a heel. It's just like,
right.
It doesn't make any sense
to me. Asuka just looks like, yo, if I'm not fighting, what am I doing standing here? Like, what do I do with my hands? Like,
but I get that you also want Asuka there because Kairi, again, like she's out there on her own, and it's cool to team her with Asuka because Asuka can kind of show her the ropes of how the main roster works. And of course there's a language barrier there as well. And I think that that's a big reason why they've been partnered together because, Kairi just needs a couple of, just to get seasoned a little bit. And I think this could be like a temporary thing. And I'd be okay with that.
And Paige is there for the English, I assume.
Yes. I've always,
as if her English is any great, to be honest with you. Like,
but I think she can at least cut a better promo that won't get as many whats as Asuka does, even though I don't think Asuka promos are bad,
I don't think Asuka promos are bad at all.
But Asuka does have trouble connecting on the mic, not through the ring. But that's why I'm like, why don't you have Asuka just wrestle more?
You know what this needs? This tag team needs. They need maybe a couple set of vignettes, maybe a couple backstage promos, just something to give them context. Because the way this kind of all came together, it seemed like one's Japanese, another's Japanese. They both wrestle similar styles, and here's Paige. She's most notable. She has 1 million Instagram followers. Like, she's going to get them over. And it's just like, none of this seems organic, or none of them seems like this was actually an idea that people can get behind full time.
Give it 5 more weeks. 5 more weeks.
Just give him some promos. Asuka looks so bored. I feel so sorry for her.
Give her. I think the key, the gag is here. You let Bailey win the title, then you finally let
Asuka beat her again.
Yeah, you finally let Asuka beat her again, and then you do Charlotte Asuka again, right? That's the gag, right?
I mean, I hope so. I hope so.
But you give her a tag title run in between that, just so she can have one.
I hope so. I really hope so. Asuka looks so bored. Poor Asuka.
Yes.
Oh, sidebar: Ms. and Mrs. Funny show.
Yeah, you can have that.
It's a funny show. It just is what it is.
I will never.
I forgot where the remote was after SmackDown.
Yeah, okay.
And it came on right after, and I was like,
I forgot where the remote is. The Knicks cap still on your head right now?
No, it's not. But I did watch Ms. and Mrs. No, it's not a bad show. Not a bad show. Oh, and they also aired the new Worlds Collide thing with the women.
I didn't watch that yet. I need to watch that.
Yeah, I want to watch that because it has Piper Niven versus Zelina Vega. Okay. Yeah. It has Toni Storm versus Nikki Cross versus Bianca Belair. It has Candice LeRae versus Kay Lee Ray, in case you wanted to get someone confused. And it has, of course, Io Shirai versus Sonya Deville.
And I heard Io loses that match.
It's just Sonya Deville's just been on the main roster longer than he.
Yeah.
No, that shouldn't make sense at all.
That doesn't make sense at all. It's a very confusing outcome, but I heard it was a good match, though.
I heard all this looks good. So yes, you have that to look forward to. NXT, you can listen to call it on NXT
this Friday.
This Friday, you can listen to Spot Callers coming back up once again, and you can just watch all the content. There's 205 Live stuff. 205 Live is in a thing right now.
I didn't watch that either. I mean, that show's not going to be around very long. Arya
Daivari is the new number one contender, which is proof that literally everyone gets a turn.
When there's only 6 people, hell yeah, everybody gets a turn.
Everyone will get a turn. So
Hideo Itami is at IHOP, on his first shift, like, I told y'all.
I know, see? And next week he was like, listen, Humberto, it'll be you one day. And then you will have to carry this brand. And it's just like, okay.
Humberto, like, man, as long as I'm on TV. A lot of it is just like, as long as I'm on TV. Like,
as long as I'm on TV. No one will remember who Humberto Carrillo is from 205 Live. Unfortunately.
But that is it for this week in wrestling news and reviews for the A Show. We will be back next week for. I'm guessing that the Money in the Bank card will be filled out, and we'll have a bigger discussion about Money in the Bank. But until then, as Meelz said, you can check out the call up on Friday. Make sure you listen to the call up. That'll be the second episode in the week, and also Spot Callers with Joy Janela's Spring Break 2 with myself and Meelz and Cyrus coming in the next few days before May. It will be before May, even if it's on the 30th. But that is coming next week as well. So yeah. That's coming up on the A Show. Make sure you follow us at RNC Radio Live. Subscribe to us at A Show RNC on SoundCloud, Google Play, iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, everywhere where podcasts are being played at. And, just for that's it for the show. Until next time. Peace.
My champion is still black.
I was wondering if you were going to do the Rusev Day thing, and you didn't.
My champion is still black. It's still.
What are you gonna do when your champion is from Montreal, Quebec?
Rusev Day.
Wow, you gotta have to find a new
Rusev Day. I don't know. Maybe I'll do iconic, and I'll do one of those. This show's been iconic.
Oh yeah, the iconic. I think you should just start doing the iconic. No, I don't think Kofi.
No. Oh my God, no. As long as my champion is still black, no.
Oh my God, whatever. All right, until next time, people. See y'all.